So you want to help make toys. Not a bad decision for a career, especially for people who love toys like us adult collectors. I had the absolute honor and thrill of doing this for 10 years at one of the world's largest toy companies, Mattel. I then went on to work for some smaller companies like Jax, Loot Crate, Jada, and Entertainment Earth. But the time I spent at Mattel was definitely not only a treasure of memories, but a great way to start my toy career because I learned so much. So, all right, well, who am I? I'm Scott Neitlich, aka Scott ToyGuru Neitlich. I was a brand manager for MattyCollector.com, DC Universe, Masters of the Universe Classics, a lot of collector toys. We made hoverboards and Ghostbuster props and lots of really cool stuff because Mattel's a great company and gave me access to doing that. And I could not have built my career without the time I spent there. And a lot of people want to know where Mattel is and what it's like working there, what it's like inside the building. Well, fortunately, we're going to do that today. So Mattel is located in El Segundo, California, which is about 40 minutes south of Los Angeles. Well, give or take traffic. It's basically right south of Los Angeles, above Hermosa Beach. And it is a beachfront community. It is, like a small, basically strip of land of a town that's right along the beach and then goes inland for about 20 or 30 miles. There are beautiful homes. There are beautiful shopping centers and residential areas. Many people live in El Segundo. It's not just a place people work. And there's also a very large industrial area. El Segundo is actually named after the second, meaning El Segundo, power plant that Chevron ever built in California, hence El Segundo. I didn't work for Chevron, I worked for Mattel. And while Mattel normally doesn't allow photography into their buildings, fortunately with a Google search, you can find quite a lot. Every single one of these images I'm going to show you is available on Google. I did not take any of these. So this is an image of Mattel's corporate tower, and a lot of people think of this as Mattel's headquarters. It is. The president sits on the 15th floor. You've got sales and you've got accounting and all kind of the paperwork. People essentially work on the different floors. This is where all of the people in suits essentially work, going all the way up to the 15th floor, which is the executive floor you see right before the logo. Now around the corner at 2031 East Mariposa, that's the Mattel Design Center. So it's about a 10-minute walk down the street from the tower you just saw, the tower that's often shown in PR shots as the headquarters of Mattel, and it is the headquarters, but the design center around the corner, which they do shuttle service actually between the two buildings, so you don't have to walk if you have meetings. Sometimes you have meetings in the tower, so there's like a 5-minute shuttle ride that's constantly going back and forth, which is pretty cool. So that's the shuttle there, and the shuttle will drop you off right in front of the building in the ramp. So this is the Design Center building. It is a 2-story building that's really long. It's kind of like a football field. And this is the main entrance. So as you walk up the ramp, you actually pass a metal Hot Wheel track that's permanently affixed to the wall there. So if you have your own Hot Wheel, you can launch it down. It's made of metal because that way if it rains or elements in the outdoors, it never goes bad. So it's kind of cool. There's lots of stuff like this in the building, just lots of fun little things. So you enter the building, and here is the reception desk for the Design Center. So the Design Center is where all of the toy designers, marketing, packaging design, they all sit. So, in a different facility from the corporate tower. And this is what you see when you walk into the Design Center. Now, if you turn your head to the right, you'll see those 2 doors. Those are conference rooms. Those are the only 2 conference rooms that are in front of the security desk, if you will. And those are the conference rooms where I filmed a lot of the Matty Collector videos, because you didn't need security clearance to use those rooms. So I could bring in a video crew to film in those rooms. So this is what that room looks like without having to go through a ton of paperwork and a ton of approvals. Because to bring a camera into the building past that front desk takes a huge amount of approvals. But using these conference rooms, hey, easy to do because it's in front of the desk. See how we try to work with the system and figure out a way to make things happen? All right, so you got all those great sayings to inspire employees on the giant red wall, and if you've got a badge and you work for Mattel or you're a signed-in guest and have an escort, you can keep going past the desk. So you're going to get a long hallway that goes basically straight through to the other side of the building. This is only half of it, and then there's a wall in front of you, and then the other half on the other side, so it's about double this. And you can see that big mural on the wall. Here's a flat shot straight at it of all the Mattel catalogs from the 70s and 80s, as well as key shots of some of the major product Mattel has done over the years. There is one for He-Man somewhere. I don't think he's in this shot. And they use the lobby for displays a lot. They'll bring in one-to-one real Hot Wheels. They'll bring in props from movies that Mattel might be making a movie line. Here's a reverse shot, the same hallway, but now looking back out that door you came in. You can note the red wall by the reception as reference point. And as you turn the corner, here is the aforementioned wall. So if you walk to the right of those stairs, you'll enter the other half of the building. This wall runs straight down the center, and it's kind of like a 7th grade dance. Boys on the right side, girls on the left. On the right side is action figures and then Hot Wheels. On the other side is Barbie and Monster High. And then inside this wall are conference rooms. This is one of them. So there's conference rooms about every 10 feet. One of them is actually called the Matty Collector Room because they were all named in about 2012 when Matty Collector was at the top of its game. So there'll always be a Matty Collector Room, which is cool. Now, as reference, here's a quick outside shot of the building. So you can see it's a 2-story building, and it's, again, very, very long and flat, more or less. It's like a giant football field, essentially, where, again, on the left side of the building are all the girls' groups, and on the right side are the boys' groups. It doesn't mean only boys work in boys and girls work in girls, but, that's just where the brands are. And this is actually a blueprint of the building. Again, I got off Google. It's amazing what you can get from Google. And this is what the inside basically looks like, again, from Google. So you can see it's essentially a cubicle farm. The only people who work in offices are the vice presidents, and their offices are usually around the outside of the building, or again, that center wall that's full of conference rooms does have some offices as well. And this is what a cubicle looks like. So this is Bill Beneke, one of my design partners, in his cubicle. So essentially you got a desk and you got a shelf with a sliding glass case, and the walls were made of kind of a material that you could stick pins in, not quite cork board, but that's how he mounted those action figures up. And most people covered their desks with, you've got product, you've got prototypes, you've got reference material. You can see a lot of Bill's comic books up there. And a lot of the figures he's working on, he's holding up a prototype for something, who knows what. But and here's my cubicle when I was in it. So you can see I filled up those same shelves that were behind Bill, but I filled them up completely with action figures, from both DC Universe when I started on that, and then I kind of had my shelf of odds and ends of different IP. Here's another shot of me in a cubicle. This is the cubicle across from mine. This was a manager cubicle, which was twice as big and got a little table. So you can see that table behind me that I would use to film Matty videos in. And then between the rows of cubicles, there are design tables. And, again, these all images straight from Google. None of these were images I took. But, I recognize this table. I remember it. This is one of the Hot Wheels design tables. And you can see they're building a Hot Wheels set prototype out of cardboard. And that's how a lot of Hot Wheels sets started. They started with foam board and cardboard to proof of concept before they would go on to be tooled and created in plastic. Here's the exact same thing on the Barbie side. So again, you can see Barbie designers working on prototypes, working on outfits. You can see the cubicles behind them, those gray walls, the same gray walls you saw in Bill and my cubicle earlier. And these are communal tables basically that are spaced out for all the groups to test out product. So again, here is one of them in the Hot Wheels area, where 2 of the executives who actually came down from the tower for a meeting in the design center, and they're using some Hot Wheels. Probably posing for a PR picture is what this is. It looks like a very pre-posed picture. And then you'll also see, so here we have a whole line of cubicles, and in front of them are these big giant design boards. And on all those boards are the different concepts being worked on. So here you can see some design boards for Hot Wheels. And again, you can see more communal tables and more of those B-sheet design boards in the back. That back right, those are all little tiny Hot Wheels on that piece of paper, showing what's in each mix. So each of those pieces of paper represents a different mix of Hot Wheels. And then, of course, lots of beautiful artwork of toys all over the walls. So as you walk around, each area, be it Hot Wheels or Barbie or Action Play, all have beautiful art of those toys all over the walls. And again, you know which side of the building you're on, because there's a lot of pink on the girls' side, a lot of blue on the boys' side, a lot of severed Barbie heads on pegs on the girls' side, a lot of half-built Hot Wheels and action figures. And there are other buildings too. Across the street is the Trade Show Service Building. I spent a lot of time there working on events like San Diego Comic-Con. And this is the same building where a lot of the TV spots are filmed. Mattel films a lot of their commercials right there. There were some crazy times at Mattel. I mean, there was, the time that Greenpeace decided to take over the corporate tower and drop a giant banner over it because they were upset over where Mattel was sourcing some packaging, which turned out not to be true. And there were times when, we'd get celebrities stopping by, whether it was for Toy Fair or events or sales meeting. We usually had partners with entertainment, be it movies or TV shows, or in this case, WWE Wrestling, who would come and help support their brand by helping with presentations. Mattel really is a great company to work for. I absolutely had a fantastic time working there. And if you're interested in making toys, it's definitely a place to send your resume to. They have an awesome cafe on site. I had a lot of lunches there because usually you can't leave just because there's so much going on. So I'd always grab a bite in the cafe. And they have a gym and all sorts of great things for employees. If you like this video and you have questions or comments, leave them below. A subscription and a like is always appreciated because that helps tell YouTube you liked this video and they should share it with others. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.